Introduce our next demo here. So we're going to do another demo. So we're going to be looking at Karbon. It's Karbon with a K. Hey, Tim. Hey, Scott. How are you guys?
Excellent. How are you today?
Good, good. So I was tipped off to Karbon. I alluded to this earlier, but we did a big peer group with business managers, about 40 of them, I think like back in May. I was at the beginning of the summer. And we talked about all sorts of technology related things. And one of the top pain points for firms was practice management software or complete lack thereof and reporting. And there was a firm specifically, I can't remember which one it was, a business management firm. I know that had been working with you guys and was really happy with, where they were working with you. So I checked it out, did a demo. I'm glad to have you guys present today. So maybe Tim and Scott, I'll let you two introduce yourselves in Karbon and then just turn it over to you.
For sure. Sounds great. Hey, everyone. Thanks so much for having us. Matthew, Ariana, thanks for putting this together, inviting us to this awesome party. Yeah, I'm Tim. I used to manage an accounting firm here in San Francisco. I'm based in San Francisco. We partnered with tech startups. Through that experience, we kind of ran into the same thing Matthew was mentioning. There weren't a lot of tools that would help us automate, gain visibility, do capacity planning, just run the business in the day-to-day and make our staff, more successful in their roles. So I joined the two founders of Karbon as employee number one about 6 years ago. We've been plugging away. And Scott was the first hire on my team. With that, Scott, I'm going to hand to you.
Excellent. Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Matthew and Ariana, for having us. So as Tim mentioned, I was the first employee on the sales team. So Tim has been kind enough to keep me on the team. So I might be doing something right here. It's been a fun journey, really helping practices grow and scale with the right tools and processes in place with Karbon. Previous to Karbon, I didn't have any accounting experience. I came from a background in an audio company called Bose, which some of you might be using headphones like Tim is right now, or some speakers. So I was with them for about 15 years in sales, and it's been a fun transition getting into the accounting world and getting to learn a whole new industry. So with that in mind, we're going to kick off our demo here so we don't waste any time to give you a chance really to see what Karbon is all about. So let me share my screen here.
Cool. While Scott's doing that, feel free to jump in and ask questions along the way, and I'll raise them up with you, Scott.
Excellent. Perfect. So thanks everyone again for giving us some time today. Karbon, what is it? Well, we like to refer to ourselves as a work stream collaborative platform. So we're designed to help you and your team work together, whether you're in the same office or you're working remotely. And we're really striving to be the gold standard in that cloud native practice management that is available. So we'll show you some of the awesome features that we have available in Karbon today. To give you a little background on the company, we push out updates every 3 weeks. So the product is rapidly growing in its features. We just went through a big $10 million round of funding, which we're really proud of. That's really helping us propel Karbon to the next level and add a bunch of cool new features that are coming down the pipe. So we're really excited for where Karbon has come and where it's headed to. So without further ado, we'll take you through here with a little tour. So key areas that make up Karbon. So triage, this is the screen we're in right now. This is your supercharged inbox, as we like to say. Your email connects into Karbon. So if you're on Office 365 Business, an Exchange server, Gmail, you can use Karbon rather than using Outlook or your Gmail inbox. We give you some added functionality in here that you don't have in your regular email platform. Emails in Karbon, you can action them off. You can turn them into tasks. You can turn them into a work item. You can comment on emails to collaborate with your team very easily in here. This is also kind of your central notification hub. So we'll pull in any notifications from within the app. Anytime your app mentioned within Karbon, as you'll see here, Patrick just app mentioned me a little while ago, needing my input, we give you the ability to collaborate without being too noisy like a product like Slack might be. So that's triage here in a nutshell. The other part of Karbon, we have just a simple to-do list. All your to-dos filter in here into one spot, give you an easy place to see what you need to get done for your day, your week, so forth and so on. Where Karbon really shines, where a lot of time is spent in here, why people transition to Karbon is going to be for the workflow element. So What we're looking at right now is one of our work dashboards. This is one I created for specifically my work within this account. Each of the cards you see in here represents a piece of work. Some practices call it a job or a project. It's essentially the same thing. Each of these is associated with a client, and then it's assigned to an individual on your team. This dashboard happens to just be all of my work here. If we were to click on any of these cards, it expands open. It gives us more details. We're going to create one of these in a moment here to show you where Karbon really shines. How we typically get these work cards in here are going to be through templates. You also have the ability to create work just from scratch. Some new project coming up, you need to kick it off. We can create a work item, and then we can start adding tasks as we're moving along through that. But more often than not, you're going to rely on templates. Templates in Karbon are extremely dynamic and robust. They allow for a lot of automation and a lot of cool features that you might not see in other products. So one of the things that we offer in here are going to be these automators, which we'll show you here in a little bit, just allow us to update things automatically as work is being checked off. We also do have the ability to have sections denoted specifically for the clients. So we have a way to bring in your clients. Karbon takes care of chasing after them for those documents that you're trying to get or any other data. Another part of templates, you have an ability to put in a budget. So on a template, we can put in a budget by role. So there's an accountant role on this monthly accounting template we're going to use here for 4 hours worth of work. And then there's an hour worth of work for the reviewer. We're going to create work from this template, and we'll show you how that transfers over to the roles and the associates that we assign that to. So we're going to say create work here. Some things fill in here automatically. The work type fills in automatically based on what this template set up as. That's great. That's accounting. What we have to do is just tell Karbon who the client's going to be here. It's going to be this Trex Trail Running Outfitters. We're going to give it a start date here. We're just going to say we're going to start this sometime in September, make this to end of September, and then hit create. When we go to create work off a template, if there is a client task section on there, it will ask us who the client's going to be that needs to receive those client tasks, and we'll show you how they interact with us. In this case, it's going to be Kevin from the Running Outfitter store. Then there's the roles. So Karbon's going to ask us, do we want to fill in these roles now or do we want to do it later? We're going to hand off some work here to Tim. He's going to be our accountant. We're going to take the reviewer role for myself here and then hit assign now. Karbon's going to fill in all of that detail for us and generate one of those cards and then expand it open, which is what we're looking at right now. We'll close our side panel here. Each work item has a header, just some basic data about that work item, status, due date, assignee. Each work item is going to have its own timeline. So we will show you a timeline where all of the email and notes that are related to this work item are. Also, we'll timestamp it with any changes. You always have a record of what's happened so far on that work item. The task list, this is where we'll show you some of the cool things that Karbon offers. So first off with this work item, you're going to notice we have a couple different sections. The first one is that client task section, and then we have some other ones here. You'll notice all the tasks have their own statuses planned. So Tim and myself, we're not really involved in this work item yet. All of our tasks are planned. That's great. We're waiting for the client to complete their work up here, which, well, how's the client going to get this checklist? So I'll take you through that. This is going to automatically send out to the client tomorrow. So we have this set up to send out 10 days before the start of the work item kicks off, but we're not going to keep you here till tomorrow. So we're going to go and manually send that email now, and we'll show you exactly how the client interacts with us. We're going to say send task now, and then bring us to the next modal. This is one of our customers' favorite features with client task. A lot of practices spend a good amount of time chasing after their clients for documents, getting on the phone call after that third email, and they're still not getting things. Let Karbon take care of that for you. We could tell Karbon how often we want a reminder to go out. We're going to say every 3 days that Kevin hasn't completed this checklist. He's going to get a reminder email from us. We'll hit send. You're going to notice up top here in a moment, the status is going to change from planned to waiting for client. That was triggered automatically by this first automator we built in here. These automators are just logical if and then rules. When something's done here, change something elsewhere. This one said when the tasks are sent to the client, change the status of the work to waiting for client. We know this card has been moved automatically back in that work dashboard. There's nothing else for us to do right now. We go to the timeline. We're going to see we have our first email that's related to this work item. This email comes right from you, no different than a regular email you compose. goes right to your client's inbox. So there's no special website they have to remember. You can customize what goes in up top here. The important thing is anywhere the client clicks on that checklist is going to bring them to this client task portal here. Your logo will be in the upper right corner. Your clients know they're interacting with you. The first time your clients are brought here, we just ask them to create a 4-digit PIN, something no one will ever guess, like 1111, and hit save, and they're going to be brought to that client task checklist. This page is fully encrypted. You can both send files through these tasks if you need clients to review documents, but you can also request things through here. Since this is encrypted, this is going to be much more safe and secure than just emailing files back and forth. Once in here, your clients can check off tasks. They can upload documents in here. So if they're trying to get some documents to you, this is an easy way to be able to grab those documents, bring those right into Karbon, and then we have those loaded right inside of here, just like that. Whatever those documents might be here, and hit post. We can check that off. If your clients need some clarification on a task, they can drop a comment right on here. So we'll just pretend the client's not sure what that is, asking what is that. For you and your team back in Karbon, everything's automated and synced up in here. The clients are checking off tasks, they're completing tasks and uploading documents. Those are automatically saving against this work item here. We can communicate right back with our client here. Something along those lines. Can I call you in an hour? Just like that. The client will get that comment back on their end. We'll also send them a new email with that comment. That way we're keeping them in the loop if they have this checklist closed here. The automation continues. So again, Tim's not really involved in this work item yet since his tasks are just planned. This next section, we've built in 5 automators. All 5 of these are going to do something differently once this last task is checked off. One's going to update the assignee. We have another one that's going to change the status. We've made a third one that says change the due date to 10 days after the client completes that last task. And then another one's going to update all Tim's tasks here from plan to ready to start and update the due date. So we'll pretend the client forgot to check this off. We can do it for them pretty easily here. Once that's done, you'll notice up top, all that automation kicks in. Tim is now the new assignee. He gets an email in his triage that brings him in here. When he drops in here, the status has been updated appropriately. The due date's been moved forward to September 5th. So we're ahead of schedule here. And now all of Tim's tasks are ready to start with an updated due date. So he can drop in here and start working on his tasks. Just an easy way to be able to bring different people into the work item as it's needed. Tim's a fast and efficient worker. He got all these done in about 30 seconds. Once he's done, the next section kicks over to me. So my time is ready to start working on this. We do have a start-stop timer up here. I can check that as I'm going about working on my task here. I'm having that timer run. I can stop it here. It's going to round up to the nearest minute, but we can override that with whatever time we did spend on it, hit confirm, and we would be able to actually put this time into, let's see here, just put this here, be able to put this time and save it in Karbon and be able to use this to be able to track time and budget inside of Karbon. And we'll show you that here in just a little bit. So that is a work item that's created, some cool automation that's brought into here. One of the last things we'll show you on this work item, if you do need to have this item repeat, click up here. We can tell Karbon how frequently we want this to recur. Karbon will automate the generation of that work item, and you can have those work items continue to be created automatically by the system. We'll show you a nice little preview window here of the next work items in that series. Easy way to be able to set it and forget it. Let Karbon take care of creating those work items for you. After those work items are created, again, kind of went full circle here, they're going to look like this, and they're going to be moving through this pipeline here if you have it set up by status, which we're going to show you in a moment. This is my dashboard. Most people have one of these called My Work just to see the work items they have. These little cards here give you some indication as far as how much of the budget's been used versus how much of the tasks have been completed. And we give you a variety of filters in here to set up any number of saved views. So every person in your organization is probably going to have different dashboards that are going to be pertinent to their role and responsibilities. So these are all the filters that we have available in here. Once you've added some filters and you've sorted it the way you want, you save it, and then you'll have your saved views in this little drop-down panel here. So the one I'm looking at was my work. I have one in here called Capacity Weekly. This is great if we want to be able to see who has some bandwidth on the team versus who might be overworked and be able to reallocate work pretty easily. So this dashboard, we're just looking at any work that's due this week and overdue. And you'll notice we're sorting it now by assignee. So I can drop in here. I could see who has some work on their plate, who might have some bandwidth. I could see right away, Jake's got 6 work items and 41 hours worth of work. He's only entered about 10 hours worth of work on those. Ian here, he's only got 2 items. He's kind of slacking per usual. I can hand some work off to Ian really easily just by dragging it from Jake's column there over to Ian's column, drop it off. Ian gets notified back in triage where we started. So an easy way to be able to move work and notify that person when we're reassigning it to them. So that's one of the common dashboards that we have set up in here. One important thing to note, any of the dashboards that you've built, you can pull that data out of here as an Excel file. If you want to use that data in any other type of product or program that you might be using, you can do that pretty easily here. Another dashboard.
Scott, the other thing to add is if you don't want to work in a Kanban view where you can drag and drop these tiles, you can see it in the list view, which is going to feel and look a lot like Excel. You can sort by column headers in here just by clicking on them. Yeah, and then if the tiles on the Kanban view are too big, which we do here for tax firms, you can shrink down what data is displayed on the tile. That is all customizable, and when you save that view, it's saved in that format. So the way Scott works and how he manages his team and his responsibilities and the departments he runs can be his own dashboard views, and then I'll have my own views.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, thanks, Tim. Yeah, the customization in Karbon is pretty high as far as what you're able to do. We want to make it easy and comfortable for each team member to be able to work how they work most comfortably, and that's what we provide here. So Tim mentioned the list view. This is that same dashboard, but in a Kanban board. In this view, what we're looking at is we're looking at a specific type of work. So earlier when we created that work from the template, I mentioned it auto-filled accounting. We can select it on here. You can custom build work types in Karbon as well as the statuses that are associated with them. So this dashboard, we're only looking at accounting work. We've added a second filter in here and then a third filter. And then we've got it down here to about 166 work items. This dashboard's a little different. We're not sorting it by due date or assignee. We're sorting it by status. This gives us a good eye on any bottlenecks that we have forming within that specific workflow. That way we can address those bottlenecks before they get way out of hand. Maybe it's tax season. You're doing, 1,000 tax returns and it's hard to keep an eye on all those. You have post-it notes and you have emails. We keep that all in here so it's easy to manage and you have visibility over that. So those are
Scott.
Yeah,
sorry.
Absolutely.
That was we were at time is what I was kind of telling you. And I think Matt.
Hey, I do have one question for you guys though that's related to kind of the previous panel and some of the other ones. And I was reminded because it was one of the key reasons that this business management firm that mentioned you guys to me was also impressed with you is your security features. So maybe could you give everyone here an overview? I just went on your website. I saw SOC 2 Type 2, which is exactly what David was just talking about. But you guys are also super secure, which is definitely needed for the folks here.
Yeah, so I'll address that. Like I was going to bring it up just because it was topical. I was listening to David speak about how nice it was that HubSpot had SOC 2 Type 2 compliance. HubSpot is much larger than us, but we also have SOC 2 Type 2 compliance. We also are GDPR compliant in the UK. His comment around how is data secured on Karbon, like we build our platform with pillars of where we store data, a client name and an SSN and a tax ID are never in the same pillar. So if you gain access to one pillar, you can't really have any of that referential data. We have a top 100 accounting firm in every single country we work in. Gone through their security audits and passed. We have a top 5 firm, top 25 firm in the globe using us, and we also pass their security audits. So because we only focus on the accounting vertical, like we know for people on this call, it's top of mind, maybe more so than other industries like design, whatever one you want to choose. But yeah, we take it very seriously.
Yeah, that's awesome. Those are big projects to undertake.
Yeah. They're not, no one likes them. They're not fun.
They're not fun. Yeah. You're not doing it for fun. I hear you. Excellent. Well, hey, we really appreciate you guys taking the time to show everything. I guess last up, what's the best way to reach you guys, or if someone wants to check this out more,
Yeah, go to our
how do you go about
website.
doing that?
Yeah, carbonhq.com. We have a free trial. You can book in a demo if you want a more personalized demo. I mean, there's a lot to cover in the product. Like a demonstration usually isn't 20 minutes like Scott breezing through it. You can also reach out to Scott or me directly. We're just Scott or Tim at carbonhq.com.
Awesome.
We're happy to answer any questions. But yeah, thank you, Matthew, for the time. Ariana, thanks for keeping us all organized.
Yep. Appreciate the time to be able to show you around Karbon. Hopefully you liked what you saw.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes me want to be an accounting firm. Then I'd use it. Hey, thank you guys. We really appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time.
It's a pleasure. Take care, everyone.
All right. Take care, guys.